So the BRICS Summit of 2024 just wrapped up in Kazan, Russia. And it was not only attended by the founding members of BRICS, which include obviously Russia, then Brazil, India, South Africa, and China, but leaders from 30 plus countries across the world, including the newest members, newest additions to the BRICS family, the BRICS bloc. Obviously, there were, a lot of discussions around international peace and cooperation, and then obviously about the financial domination of the US dollar, which was also the main theme. And we're going to talk about that in detail in this video here. Time and again, and especially after the Russia-Ukraine war began, Russia has been very critical. Russia and China, they've been very critical of the dominance of the US dollar, and rightfully so, because Russia has been barred from not only the international payment system, which is the SWIFT payment system, but also Russian assets have been seized by the US worth $300 billion. Russia has been isolated, and we're going to talk about that in a bit. Now, the crux of the BRICS summit was to create an alternate financial system and international payment system to that of the SWIFT payment system, which stands for Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication. Now, SWIFT is not a transaction or a financial payment system per se, but it is a financial messaging platform. Now, SWIFT is a Western system which was obviously created by the likes of the US as well as the EU, or the members of the EU, right? It is basically a system which is not a financial system per se. It is not used for sending and receiving payments, but it is a financial messaging system for banks. Consider it like WhatsApp for banks, wherein banks, they communicate with each other in terms of, transferring information and instructions regarding a particular payment. And this happens in real time. So this is what SWIFT payment stands for. Now, right after the Russia-Ukraine war began, Russia was actually barred from the SWIFT payment system. Russia was no longer allowed in the SWIFT payment system to be a part of this system, which is used by 200 plus countries in the world. So this is where problems for Russia began. Now, Russia wants to create an alternate system which challenges the SWIFT payment system, and not only that, but also currency that we're going to talk about. The point being, Russia wants to create this system so that it does not get isolated again, or it can still smoothly perform transactions and trade with other countries with the new system that will be created sometime in the future. Because Russia understands that the US is actually weaponizing the US dollar against its adversaries, against the countries that it does not like or does not want to, work with directly. So this system, the alternate system to the SWIFT payment system, will actually help Russia and countries like Russia and China to actually challenge the hegemony of the US dollar, the dominance of the US dollar. At this point, it is also worth noting that 88% of all the transactions around the world, global transactions, they're actually held in the US dollar. And not only that, but the global reserve currency, 59% of all the global reserve currency is actually also held in the US dollar. And which is why and how the US is actually able to weaponize the US dollar against its enemies and adversaries. And the point is that you can travel the world wherever you are in the world. You can travel the world without even having the local currency of that country. But if you just have the US dollar with you, you'll be able to survive. You'll be able to just do well, because it is not only accepted by the countries, but also the local residents of the countries. So this is the power of the US dollar at this point of time, which no currency from around the world matches, right? And which is what Russia as well as China, they're well aware of. They're well aware of this fact that US dollar is accepted worldwide, whereas their currencies are not at this point of time. And as per Russian President Vladimir Putin, 95% of the transactions that are now being held between Russia and China, they're actually held in their local currencies. They're now taking place in rubles and yuan, because Russia is left with no other choice. And all of this has increased multifold after the Russia-Ukraine war began. Prior to which, obviously, the US dollar as well as the euro, they were a big part of their foreign reserve currency. But now yuan has become a primary foreign currency for Russia. However, that still does not mean that the US dollar is going anywhere anytime soon. So the ruble and yuan, they do not even come close to putting a dent in the dominance of the US dollar at this point of time. However, not every country in the BRICS bloc is actually anti-West. There are countries like India and Brazil that do not want to go against the West. They are not forming an anti-West bloc. While we're talking about this alternate payment system, there were also talks before the BRICS summit on the BRICS forum in Moscow about developing an alternate system which could be known as BRICS Pay. Now, this system, BRICS Pay, would actually be backed by blockchain. It will be a blockchain-based system, which obviously these countries, especially after the war, Russia has been very keen to adopt cryptocurrency. Russia has become more crypto-friendly after the war began, and rightfully so, because it has nowhere else to go. It has no other ways to conduct transactions except for cryptocurrencies, and specifically Bitcoin. So if this system, the BRICS Pay system, comes into reality, becomes a reality, it will be used for cross-border international digital transactions. However, at this point, it is also worth noting that Russia is also interested in conducting payments via Bitcoin. And also, it is good for the Bitcoin community, the crypto community as a whole, because as soon as countries like Russia start adopting Bitcoin at an international level to conduct international payments, official payments, right, it will give a boost to the adoption of Bitcoin. It will change the old age perception of other countries of the BRICS bloc as well regarding Bitcoin, because a lot of countries, they do not stand on the same ground when it comes to discussion of cryptocurrencies, specifically Bitcoin. Now, there are obviously going to be a lot of questions that are going to be raised when it comes to conducting transactions via Bitcoin, because specifically when we're talking about the Bitcoin community considers Bitcoin as a store of value and not a medium of exchange. Even though, it comes under the broad category of a cryptocurrency, but it is more like a crypto asset or a digital asset which people would like to hold. And rightfully so, because the value of Bitcoin has increased multifold ever since its inception in 2009. So Bitcoin has been a store of value specifically for Bitcoin holders and the crypto community in general. So how could they actually, spend or transact Bitcoin when it is increasing in value? And not only that, they would like to hold it for a longer period of time. But as time goes on, it will be harder for them to accumulate, hold, and spend Bitcoin, because it will become unaffordable for many of the people that are living in the BRICS nations. Which brings us to the next point, which I believe is more viable in my opinion, and which I also think that BRICS nations are working on, or at least discussing, which is a BRICS stablecoin. Now, what is a stablecoin? A stablecoin is basically a digital asset, a digital currency rather, which is backed by a local currency. For example, the USDT or the USDC. Now, the USDT and the USDC, both of them are actually stable coins, and their values are actually pegged to the US dollar 1-to-1, which means that the value of 1 USDC or 1 USDT will be equal to 1 US dollar. It will not change regardless of what happens. The value of a stable coin remains the same as the value of the local currency or the currency that it is being pegged to, right? But the question again here arises, which currency will be pegged against the BRICS stablecoin? For that, I believe that there should be a creation of a BRICS currency altogether. But then again, there are questions regarding a BRICS currency and how will it be valued? Will it be similar to that of the euro? Will the working of the BRICS currency, if at all it comes into reality, will it be similar to the euro? Will it be adopted by not only the countries for trade purposes, but also by the local people? So will countries that are in the BRICS bloc, are they going to be willing to give up their local currencies, their national currencies, to adopt this BRICS currency? Or will the BRICS currency only be used for transactional purposes, for trade purposes, for B2B purposes amongst these countries and not amongst the general public? And then again, how at all, if the BRICS currency, it comes into reality, will it be valued? How will the countries, the BRICS nations, value a BRICS currency? How will the new development bank, which is a BRICS bank, value the new BRICS currency, if at all it comes into play, against the local currencies of the member states? All of these questions at this point of time, they're difficult to answer even for the BRICS nations at this point of time, which is why it is taking a lot of delay in the discussions of creating a BRICS currency or even an international payment system which challenges the SWIFT payment system. So while we're talking about this BRICS currency, there was actually a BRICS note which was shown off at the BRICS Summit by the Russian President Vladimir Putin. Now, this note, by no means is it an official note. No official note has been released. This note was actually a symbolic note or a concept note, if you may, which just showed a glimpse of how possibly a BRICS currency could look like, a BRICS note could look like in the future. So as of now, there is no BRICS currency in question at this point of time that is going to be launched anytime soon. There could be a digital currency that could come out in the near future, and also an alternate international payment system that we can see in the near future, in the coming years, that can challenge the SWIFT payment system of the West. But as of now, what is clear is the fact that the adoption of local currencies of the BRICS nations is being heavily encouraged by the member nations. nations. And this is done to reduce the dependence on the US dollar and obviously to, reduce the dominance of the US dollar. Now, obviously, that is not possible 100% at this point of time. With that being said, the US dollar is not going anywhere anytime soon. And even Russia and even countries like China, they're well aware of this fact. With that being said, what do you think? Do you think that there will be a new BRICS currency in place or an alternate international payment system that we're going to see anytime soon? Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you found this video valuable, please share this video with your friends and family, and please subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching this video and have a great day.